Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weird and wonderful world. And today I want to talk about lyrics. And I wanted to talk about Sparks lyrics, okay? But that is going to take a little bit longer for me to compile. First of all, is because there's Paul Barrett's wonderful channel called Metasparks. What he talks about the lyrics of Sparks and what they represent, or what he feels they represent, yeah, I can't. I don't think I could ever articulate it as well as Paul Barrett and his Metasparks channel can. Like I'm blown away by how dead on I really think his theories are. And if I'm going to talk about Sparks lyrics, I want to make sure that I'm giving my own unique point of view on it and be able to talk about what I like about the lyrics and my point of view on it. And but just wanted to throw in there that I do feel that Paul Barrett's analysis are dead on. Yeah. So I decided, okay, then if I'm not going to be talking about Sparks, which I really wanted to, I am going to talk about King Gizzard, who is equally my second favorite band with Sparks at the moment. They're both equally my second favorite band. I cannot pick one over the other because they're both exciting in their own unique ways. Now, out of all my albums that I have that has lyrics inside, and thankfully every single one of them has lyrics inside, except for the Teenage Gizzard, which doesn't have it and it doesn't need it. I don't have to go through those. And my live stuff I have for the Nonagon Infinity concert like tour, and that does not have lyrics because I have the lyrics every on the other stuff. Now I could talk about these ones here, but I'm going to kind of pass them by for now. They may come in a future video when it comes to Murder of the Universe. I'm not going to really talk about that one. I'm not going to talk about Infest the Rat's Nest. I mean, there's messages in there I could touch upon, but like the whole environmental message behind fishing for fishies, that would be a different episode all itself. Or even the Butterfly 3000 album, those lyrics, which I could get into, but I'm not going to. And also, just to let you know, I'm not going to be talking about the lyrics of these two albums in particular. I want to save that for its own special episode eventually. I won't be talking about Nonagon Wonderland and Nonagon Infinity because yeah, Polygon Wonderland, and yeah, I'm not going to be talking about these two because they deserve their own episode. Strictly speaking of lyrics, okay, but I did compile a few lyrics that I wanted to talk about, and mostly from these six particular albums, which I'll present as I go along. Now, the first one that I want to talk about lyrics about is the paper mache dream balloon, which seems to be a lot of people's a lot of people that I've been lately. It's been their favorite one of King Gizzard. You know, especially the older the people, well, about 10 to 15 years older than me, they tend to like this one, especially if you're in that that kind of a, yeah, there's a certain, I can't explain it exactly properly, but yeah, let's go into some of these lyrics. Now, what I find interesting about these lyrics, and it has been brought to my attention by other people, I'm not the one that thought of this first, but I will admit that I did think of it when I first heard it. That the concept, because when I first played this, I actually read. I was looking at the lyrics, and I often do. I try to look at the lyrics the first time I'm listening to something, if I can, or at least the second time, depending on what type of experience I want. But this album, it was brought to my attention, might be about it's a folk, like it's in a certain type of folkish feeling, but it's from a point of view of a serial killer talking about his. Because yeah, okay, let's get into some of these lyrics. Like but it in fact it's a pattern. Everything I hear will always make me ashen. I know it's recognizable, but it makes no sense at all. Blah 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 blah. And some people say it's on their radar, but they drive a million miles in their fast car. I know it's so invisible, but it don't make no sense at all. But then the next song on Bone talks about hands and toes and feet and head carry on to be fed, and any dog can chew over my bone. All my wine's going to turn into blood when my name is called. I'm just a pile of bone, but when I'm gone and I'm dead, what will be inside my head? And then at the end here, if heaven is a place I know, I won't be I won't be taking my bones. Will all my stitches be unsewn? And when I'm gone and I'm dead, what will be inside my head? Bone? Dirt. Gestures in our selfish understanding. Tensions only surface when you're hurt. Like a magpie morning monologue, whispers bending backwards in the dirt. Um, yeah, or catch your breath, I'm heading out. Be sure others will notice this is just a product of lack of reflection. Like a magpie morning monologue, whispers bending backwards in the dirt. What is he talking about? Dirt? Is that like from a grave? Then paper mache dream balloon. When I get troubles my way like paper mache, they stick to chimera balloon and I kick it out my door, and then later, and hide it in my drawer, you know, it's when you're stuck in a daydream under a moonbeam, head on my pillow at home. Drunk are the people outside my window, full of testosterone. Yeah, are you eluding that am brooding, mopping around on my own, stuck in a daydream under a moonbeam, head on my pillow at home? Dream, is dreaming. I think he's dreaming about taking his troubles and kicking them out the door and floating them out, however he does it. Because the next song is Trapdoor. It's a trapdoor, trapdoor. Everybody knows what's under the door, and everybody goes to great lengths for sure to hide themselves away and keep the beast at bay because everybody knows trap door, it's a trap door. And then the cold cadaver, you know, dark and cold out my front window, I can hear you say from 2 miles away, this can't be over, this can't be over. Heard her before knocking at my front door. I said, what's the problem? She said, it's the cold cadaver. Cold cadaver. Well, I was sleeping, of course, because he was sleeping, because in the paper mache, he had his head on his pillow, napping, basically, dreaming, like daydreaming, stuck under a moonbeam. So, yeah, I was sleeping when I heard her preaching. I said, what's the problem? And she said, it's the cold cadaver. I think it's funny if you look at it through those eyes. That he's a serial killer and he's trying to live a normal. I guess is like trying to live a normal life and not be noticed of what he's doing. So, hence the music is all light and fluffy and all acoustic there's a flute playing most of the tracks. And then they get the next song after Bitter. It's the Bitter Boogie. And it comes without a warning. When it's inside of me, it's exhausting because, it's bitter. I don't like the way it makes me freeze up and what it makes me say. I know it comes off bitter, 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 but roll with it. You know, I wouldn't like to say I didn't warn ya, 'cause bitter boogie comes without a warning. I really hate the way it messes my mind up, and all it makes me say, I know it comes off bitter. I love it. I love it. From the first glance, had no chance. Making exceptions that would outlast searching for a new obsession, yet I'm too bitter to reconsider my options twice before I ask you your advice. Yeah. And I've been grieving for no reason that seems wise, married to the pipe with no ambition besides. Yeah, I'm bitter to consider my option twice before, yeah, I ask you for your advice. Yeah, of course. My biggest question in the whole album, though, is what is the NGRI bloodstain? What does the NGRI stand for? Mud stain, bloodstain in my brain. Keep it clean, bloodstain. Yeah, endlessly, suffer endlessly, forever giving into NGRI. I don't know. I don't know what it stands for, and yeah, and then time equals fate, and time equals money. Those two are connected, with the time, like at the end, like the last two lines. It takes two cats to enjoy a cool jamboree. It takes three to remember that one differently. Memories are jog. It gets thicker with time. Look at the clock. His hands read the time. Men's furrowed brows. I can't help but thinking now. Back here, I'll wait. Please don't let the past be my fate. Don't let the deeds that I've done, come back to haunt me, basically, is what he's saying. And then time is money. Again, is at the last part. I know when my eye starts itching that I'm in need of a fuss and I'm low on my buck without any luck, head in my hands to see that I'm so stuck. And all I gotta say is, why is time my money? Because it sounds funny to give me so much time and no money nearby. Time is money. And then the last song, most of what I like. Most of what I like is given to me by the ones that I love, bears the onus every time. Technically, I don't deserve to live this kind of life. Perturbed at what I might become, I'm changing every time. Ecstasy is what I'm reading. I'm bleeding from the eyes. You always shut your eyes when you look me in the eye. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Okay, and then face to face is nice, but sharper than a knife. I teeter on the edge, just waiting to be sliced. Returning home brain dead, and you inject the life. Appeal to me, love. Remake, rebuild, revise. Re, rest, restavel, Restabelit is when I'm bleeding, a laxative to cry. You always shut your eyes when you look me in the eye, always crushing the ropes which I frayed, like corpses that I'm dressing should never be displayed. Yeah, yeah. The corpses that I'm dressing should never be displayed. Serial killer. Absolutely. Some dark stuff, all dressed up in fancy clothing. Okay, let's move on. I spent almost a good 10 minutes on just this album alone, but I want to quickly go into the rest of the album. I don't care how long this episode lasts, but I'll try not to keep it more than 20 minutes. I'll go through the rest of this faster. So on this, there's only one song that I'm going to go through lyrics, and that's the last one here that has lyrics. Nuclear Fission. because it's more about togetherness. That you look into the sky and see the pattern reflecting your eye from a distance, mirroring the stars are the atoms mixing up like a cocktail. The devil's inside all the detail. The tadpole runs wild under veil, coming together in the pattern, fit tightly like a dovetail. The nuclear fusion. And then I love the chorus. All the bonds that be couldn't break us exponentially in fine feather. We're essentially one being. Yeah. All the bonds that be couldn't tear us from eventually fusing tightly. We're essentially one being. Nuclear fission. And what do you mean by mixing up like a cocktail or fit tightly like a dovetail? Fit tightly like a dovetail, of how each of the strands, okay, are all individual strands, but they all clench tightly to be all one together to be able to make the bird fly. And I think that's pretty poetic the way they put that. And that's the way it's nuclear fission. You're bonding together to be all one instead of being all separated and schismed, you know. And it's about bonding together as humanity. And then like this part here, oceans like a moat for ocean like a moat fortification, separating me from restoration. My spirit leaves my body in frustration, flying through the world in radiation. The devil's inside all the detail. The tittle runs wild under a veil, coming together in the pattern, fit tightly like a dovetail. It's all the bonds that be couldn't break us. He's talking about the group. He's talking about themselves. That they're a group. They're exponentially in fine feather. They're essentially one being. You know, that's the one song on that album that really kind of. There's other stuff that I might talk about on another episode later on. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about on that one. And then there's Some of Us. Yeah, and I love that happened to be right there. But out of all, like on this is on the export K yeah, it's what is it called again? The exploration into, yeah, it's like the number, it's part two of where did I put that case? There's a lot of these I'm not going through, but yeah, it's off of KG. That's what it's called, KG. That's uh, the second microtonal volume. I don't have the third one, the LW, but I will be getting that. But again, going into the lyrics, I love these. How ancient tombs like sand-filled wombs of people's lives past, understanding everything. Melted iron, untold eons, crafted demise, destroying everything. Then black sand timelines, shifting skylines, faded guide signs, revealing everything. Ancient Thracians, lost from lost nations, long gone people, understand everything. Then some of us see, some of us don't. Assured, everything turns into dust. And then rigor mortis, fossil tortoise, remain dormant underneath everything. Ageless microbes reveal xenophobes. Endless plague thus infecting everything. Sapien rituals born of mind tools, sects of false gods fade into everything. eternal tribes of purgatory scribes, ancient words, thus foretelling everything. Some of us live, some of us don't. Us short, everything turns into dust. And he repeats that again. Yeah, I think that's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. Now, and I kind of want to go with a tiny bit of float along, fill your lungs. I think it's mostly. Was there? What was in there that I want to look at? Actually, no. I'm gonna skip that one. I'm not gonna. I was gonna talk about that. I want to go into off a gumboot soup. I want to talk about all is known. The lyrics of that, kind of going with what I kind of just talked about with some of us in a tiny way. The human beings, vermin weed, made of old technologies, so I succeed, supersede, exterminate like plant to acetone, all is known. It's kind of a little bit sarcastic, all is known, you know. You've got gaps, synapses. I'm connected to the network. You are weak, organic. You've got muscle. I am made of steel bone. All is known. Does it sound like you're talking about AI here? You know, and talking about human ignorance and that we need to kind of wake up to the atrocities and the way I don't know. There's a message behind all of their works. So burn their meat, sweep the streets, bind their hands onto their feet, and digitize. Cut the eyes from the king and augment to the fourth cone. All is known. Now, augment to the fourth cone. That line in particular, I wasn't actually going to talk about it, but let's go and talk about it now since I brought that line up and it just came to my attention that what they're talking about is uh is off of Polygon Wonderland, and they're talking about tetrachromacy. Tetrachromacy, which is a seeing a fourth color. I heard a story. Could it be true about a color under blue? You couldn't see it with your eye or invent it with intellect. Like the inverse of color blindness is shrouded like a natural gas. I gotta see it for myself. Settle my own consciousness. Back and forth, swung like the tide I look and left and to right. My three shades are divisible, less to see the invisible. You know, being able to see past what's there into like it's like almost being able to see into the fourth dimension, to be able to we see in three dimensions, but to be able to see in fourth dimension, what would you see? What would that be like? Would it open up a door, like the door to non-Agon infinity, which is kind of like I think a warp zone to different dimensions, where you're finding a better way of life, where you're getting away from the the evils of mechanized dictatorship. Now, last thing I want to talk about is from Sketches of Brunswick East with they do with the Mile High Club, and this the last song that has lyrics on it. You can be your silhouette, and I find these interesting. Yeah, these are the last lyrics I'm going to look at, and then I'm going to let you go because it's over 20 minutes. I'm sorry. When you make time to clear the cobwebs off your mind, you may find yourself unwind when all the ticking stops dead. You may find more time instead, and you can be your silhouette. When you just stop and take a look around your shop, you may feel your blues all drop. You can't sell your glum to me. but I can help you till you see that you can be your silhouette. It may be dark, it may be shadowy and dark, but don't be scared of what you meet. No, don't be scared of what you've met. Your dance with it is no threat. In fact, it is an asset. You can be your silhouette. And what I think that song, that lyric is talking about is a deep message of what I like about the lyrics of Tool, and specifically the lyrics of this album in particular, and Parable and Parabola. It's about being at one with yourself and being your own best friend, of accepting that you have a darker side, being comfortable with that darker side, and learning to accept your humanity, and growing, from understanding and getting in touch with your deeper self, of being a whole person, rather than being separated from yourself to be a part of something that's destructive, or to be something that's fabricated, to being something. All those lyrics that I kind of went through with King Gizzard, that's kind of what I think of. That's, of being true to yourself, to being at one with the rest of humanity, of accepting yourself for who you are, and loving yourself for who you are, and loving humanity, and opening yourself up to other possibilities, bracing humanity. I kind of hope that's what the messages came across from all what I was reading in there. I picked those particular ones for a reason. I know there was something else in here, but I wasn't going to kind of go through it too long. Yeah, I know it's almost a 30-minute video. I am sorry. I will be talking more about other lyrics and stuff and that, and making a little bit shorter videos. But I'm kind of also trying to make up for not making a video yesterday. I had things to do, and even though I had to go to work later, time just sometimes just kind of slips away on you. Before I go, and I should have did this at the beginning, but before I go, I want to say thank you to my newest subscriber. And the only reason I know you're my newest subscriber is because you left me 3 great comments. Okay, I had never seen you before on my channel, and then all of a sudden I see three great comments from you, and then I go and look, and boom, my subscriber count went up. So Morn Blade 1066, yeah, Morn Blade 1066. Thank you for liking my video and subscribing to my channel. I hope I don't disappoint you. I'm here to please. So anything I can do to anything I can do to for your entertainment, leave me a comment down below. That's all of you, which you know how much I love each and every single one of you. Whether you're subscribed to me or not, I don't care. I love you all. I might like you more if you're subscribed. Really? I love everybody. Anyway, I'm just going to let you go. And as always, please be safe. Take care. I will see you on the flip side. And please, everybody, have a great day, evening, morning, night, afternoon, wherever you may be. Peace, everybody.